Back with another one. How's it going, guys? I hope you're keeping well. I know you've seen the title. Obviously this is about raising a son, and what's prompted this video is my dad did pass away over the weekend. So yeah, he's no longer with us, and yeah, it's hit me hard, but I don't want any sympathy, not at all. Now, at the end of the day, I'm very lucky. I'm lucky I had him at all. So I mean, he was only 60 when he passed away, and I'm 35, but so that's about 35 good years out of him, and so it's been alright. It's been alright. Well, no, on a serious note, I'm very lucky, because he was just an amazing man, and that was my dad. So extremely lucky, and the more I think about him, I'm not even sad anymore either. I mean, I am, because I miss him, and I've got to buy my own tea bags now as well. But I'm happy because he ain't fighting anymore, and my God, he's been fighting a long time, and fighting a losing battle as well. But I'm proud of him because he kept going. He kept going, and he did it for us. So yeah, I couldn't be prouder. I mean, the day after he passed, I just overwhelmed with pride, really. Just kept thinking about him, and yeah, just put a smile on my face, and just what an amazing man he was, and how big his heart was. So yeah, I couldn't be prouder. I really couldn't. But anyway, let's get on with the video, shall we? I could talk about him forever. Well, that's not what the video is about anyway. But going back to how, lucky I feel to have had him as my dad, and I genuinely do, it's made me look at how my kids see me, because I'm their dad, and it's strange how your mind changes, and your perception and perspective changes when you lose your dad. Well, it has for me anyway. Definitely thinking a lot more about how they see me, and I can tell you now, if they see me anything like I saw my dad, then I'll be happy, very happy, because he was my hero. I mean, from an early age, he was the man. I looked at him, he was a giant to me, and he was just Superman. He was basically Superman, and not just me who thought that. I mean, my siblings did as well, and my friends did, and all. Even my friends really looked up to my dad as a hero, and that's what he was to me as a kid. But life going the way, things change as you get older, and a lot of dramas and all this, that, and the other. And basically, we were a bit up and down with each other, me and my dad. We didn't always get on, but it come back around. By the time when I became a man, I understood what it meant to be a man, and then I could understand him more as a man. And then becoming a dad, I could understand him as a dad. And yeah, it's been a journey. Me and my dad's relationship has been a hell of a journey. It really has, and I'm glad for the last 3 years, because me and him just became so close these last 3 years especially, and he just became that hero all over again. And since his passing, the more I think about it, I'm like, what a fucking hero, what a warrior. And this is another point as well, right? So if you can be your son's hero, let me tell you what, right? I mean, since he passed, I just feel lighter. And one thing, I mean, it was draining the life out of me these past few months, watching him deteriorate and just seeing him the way he was compared to who he used to be. It's heartbreaking, and it's been really just draining, just seeing him like that, because then when I'm not seeing him, I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, God, what state is he in? And just wishing I could be around him all the time, look after him, and knowing he doesn't want anyone looking after him as well, because he's a stubborn git, or he was anyway. And yeah, so it's just been a long few months really, but yeah, it all sort of fast forwarded towards the end, and yeah, so I feel lighter for that. But then I also feel, I don't know what it is, I just feel I'm all good. I feel stronger, like some part of him is inside me, because I think what it is, the more I think about him, the more I think he is a fucking hero. That man is amazing. So if you can be your son's hero, let me explain what that does to them. If they think you're the fucking bee's knees, you're the man, they know your blood is in their veins, right? Just as I think that about my dad. His blood is pumping through my veins, and the life he's lived, the life he's endured, and managed to keep going and still have that big heart. That is mind-blowing. It is amazing. I'm absolutely, I couldn't be prouder. I really couldn't. So, and I just think, what a guy, how strong was he? I mean, if I could be half the man he was, then I've done alright. Genuinely. And yeah, what more can I say? So I think made me think to myself, I thought, right, well, he's, you know, all this, that and the other, he's, you know, can't get my words out, the hand he was dealt, right, was a bit of a shit hand, let's say. My life's been much better than his, and if ever I'm struggling, I find myself in dark times, I can now think about my dad and think, well, he had it harder than I ever did. And I dare say my life will never be as dark as how dark he's got at points. So, and he kept going. So if he can, I can. Because I'm his boy. Yeah. And I've got to look at that with my son. So I've got to be strong anyway, because I've got to be strong for my kids. And I need my son, and I like to think he does, see me as that hero as well. Whereas he can draw upon that strength, thinking, well, that's my dad, and that's half of me, so I can do it too. And just give him that confidence. If you think your dad's a fucking hero, it's going to give you confidence. So yeah, bear that one in mind, guys. Be your son's hero. It goes a long way. Now, another thing I want to point out here, I mean, there's a big difference between raising a son and raising a daughter. Hence why this video is not called Raising a Child, you know. So, I had this conversation actually with my kids, my youngest two, Alex and Amy. So, my son's 11, and my youngest, she's 10. And they bicker, right? They don't get on very well. Not always. I mean, a lot of times they're alright, but they get on better with their oldest, because that's because they don't live with her. I think that's probably what it is. But anyway, so I found that my son was winding Amy up a lot, and like more than usual, and it was getting a bit, how frequent he was doing it, I'd say it was, you know, borderline bullying, and I thought, I've had enough here, we need to address this. But I had to think about it first. I thought, well, why is he acting that way? And I knew straight away. As soon as I asked myself that, I knew straight away, it's because Amy gets more attention than he does, and I treat her different than I do him. So that's going to play on his mind, that's going to play on any child's mind, of course it is. And I'm glad I thought about it, and I'm glad I addressed it with him as well. So I sat him down, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I told him. I says, to have a daughter my job is to protect her from the world. That's what I want to do. I want to protect my daughter. But for a son, I want to prepare him for the world. So I want to protect my daughter from the world, but I want to prepare my son for it. And there's a big difference for how you raise them to do that. I mean, one being, he's got to get tough. You know, I mean, my boy, he's got a huge heart. Oh my God. And the level of empathy he's got for as a kid is unreal. And he really cares. I mean, we'll go out on a day out and say if my brother tags along with his kids are younger than mine. They're only little. And I tell you now that they'll be playing about, and my son the entire time will always have an eye on the kids, protecting them and making sure they're all right. It's crazy for a lad of his age to always be mindful. He's just such a cracking lad, he really is. With him having such a big heart though, he's very gentle, and he's not aggressive or anything like that, which I don't want him to be. That's not who he is. But he does need to be able to look after himself, and he does need to be tough if ever the day comes that he needs to be. And it's vital for every man. It's one of them things. So I do boxing with him on a Sunday morning. Not every Sunday, but if we've got an hour or half hour or so, then we'll stick gloves on. We'll have a bash. And he's got the skills as well. To be fair, he's got the skills, but he's very gentle. So it takes a bit to get the beast out. But it comes every now and then goes into beast mode, and he's a formidable foe. Obviously I batter him, but I'm twice the size of him, but no, he's very, very good. And what we're doing now we're able to get the beast out. I says that's what I need. But now we need to control the beast, and the skills. Let's try and merge the skills and the control with the beast, and that that fire going. And he's getting there. And this is very important, and for a lot of reasons. I mean, I would love, and I genuinely mean this as well, I would absolutely love to protect him, wrap him up in a bubble, just like I want to do with my daughter. In an ideal world, that's exactly what I'd be doing. But the issue with that is, we're not living in an ideal world. Excuse me, trying to alter this camera. We're not living in an ideal world, right? Things happen. Bad things happen. And I need to know that my son can take care of himself and take care of those around him, including family. And yeah, if he can't do that, then we've got a problem. Because you never know. You never know. And just peace of mind and confidence as well. If you can look after yourself and look after those around you, you're going to feel more confident. If you throw a punch like that and you're soft and let everyone walk all over you, because everyone's going to cave your head in if it ever got nasty, then you don't have any confidence. It's going to snowball your life. It's going to really affect your life. So I think it's very important that every man be able to handle himself, look after himself, and be willing and able to fight. I don't condone violence at all, but sometimes it's necessary. And my dad taught me boxing as well. We'd be boxing in garden, and yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it in the time. I can look back and think, yeah, that was good. That. Well, there were sometimes it hurt me. You know what I mean? And I've hurt my son as well. It's one of them things. Now I don't mean I batter him, because I do not batter him. But if he walks into a stiff jab, and he's going to sting a lot more when you walk into the shot. And I like to rough him up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? No major, but every now and then he gets hurt, and I hate hurting my son. Of course I do. That's my little boy. But he needs it, because he needs to know what he's made of, right? If when I get hurt, do I keep coming forward? Do I keep going, or do I go? I've had enough. He keeps going, so he knows what he's made of, and that's important. And my dad used to hit me. I'd say, "Oh, just nip it to the toilet, Dad." And I'm like, "Oh, it hurts." And I wipe my face. I'm like, "Right, game time. Let's get back at it. Round 2. It's toughened me up though, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Otherwise I'd have been a right little pansy. And then what did I do? And I'll tell you a little story actually. And this is a good example, really. So I remember I must have been about 17 at the time. And my sister had a boyfriend who we absolutely loved him. In fact, he used to come round and he'd spend 2 or 3 hours with either me or my brother or my dad before he even said hello to my sister. There's no wonder it didn't work out, because she was not happy. Never was. So, yeah, they didn't work out, and I think we, the rest of the family, were more gutted than they were. But hey. So anyway, he was having some drama, and there was a gang or a family, well-known family or whatever, some serious fuckers, let's call them. Something happened where they were gonna get him, so he needed to lay low. So we said, "Come live at ours. That's not a problem. No drama." Yeah, we cared about the lad and we didn't want him getting hurt, so he come live with us. So anyway, we're all watching a film. Well, my dad were in bed. He was already fast on. He was an early birdie. And we were watching a film, and the next thing you know, a window smash, and I'm like, "Was that our kitchen?" Right? I'm thinking, fucking hell. So I jump up and I go to check the kitchen. And at first, I mean, there were blinds, so I was like, "Is it?" So I had to lift the blinds up and I go, "You mother." So I'm shouting out the window, "You bastards." And I'll get my shoes on. I think I'm going to fuck these cunts up. I don't care who they are. And I go to leave and fight them. And my mum grabs hold of me with an iron grip. There must be some maternal fucking... I was like, fuck it, I couldn't move. Oh, fucking hell, I'm going to be good fighting. My mum's fucking out, overpowering me. But anyway, as I'm trying to get her off, shake her off me, my dad starts coming down the stairs. It woke him up. And he said, cool and calmly, he passed me the thick end of a pool cue. Like, "Yeah, Dave, let's go." Alright, game time. So me and him, we went out to do battle. And that was quite the moment, really, because me and my dad, and he seen me as a worthy someone he would fight side by side with and do battle against whatever was going to be there. And from what we'd heard, I think the odds were probably maybe stacked against us if there were quite a few of them. But as it happens, there was no fucker there. Right, so we start patrolling around the block, and then we're walking around the streets looking for whatever, we're hoping to find somebody or a gang or whatever. But no one there. As it happens, I did find out a couple of weeks later who it was, and drunkenly he thought it was his ex-girlfriend's house, and he had some, I think he was probably heartbroken and wanted to hurt her or do something back, so he smashed the window in and legged it. So yeah, what a dick. So it was just bad timing that there was this scary gang family or whoever the fuck they were, I don't know. And yeah, alright. But yeah, that was a moment there. And what would we have done if we wouldn't be able to look after ourselves? That situation could have been very different. Yeah. So we were both very willing and able to protect our family and go out and protect them. If you're not, then what the fuck's your family going to do? If you care about your family, you need to be able to protect them. It's vital. But anyway, getting back to the conversation I had with the kids about, I do treat them differently. There's, I had to tell them that. I says, "Look, Alex, I've noticed you winding Amy up a lot, and it's not good. You need to stop." And I said, "Are you doing it because you're jealous of Amy because she gets more attention and I treat her differently to you?" And he denied it at first, but I knew straight away. And then he said, "You know what, Dad? Yeah, that is why." And I said, well, let me explain then. I think this is very important that you think about these things and your family dynamics and whatnot, and see what needs work and do what you can to fix it. And I said to him, I says, right, there's several reasons why I treat you different to Amy and why she gets more attention. And they both heard me out. And I says, right, Alex, he's a very laid back chap. He goes with the flow. He doesn't complain, he doesn't moan, and he likes his own company and all. He's very introverted. Amy, on the other hand, Daddy, look at this. Daddy, look at that. Daddy, watch me do a handstand. Daddy, watch me do splits. Daddy, watch me see count how many bicep curls I can do and how many press ups I can do. And this is while we're trying to watch a film like late at night or so. The girl doesn't stop. She's on crack or something. She must be. She goes 100 miles an hour. She does not stop, and she constantly wants my attention. Therefore, she gets more attention. But the other thing as well, I says, Alex, you're older than Amy. The younger a child is, the more parenting they require. It's just the way it is. I says, you know, you're a bit older, so you're a bit more independent. You don't need me as much as Amy needs me. It's just what it is. And I says, and thirdly, I said, you're a boy and Amy's a girl. And that's when I said, you know, I've got to, you know, protect Amy from the world, but I need to prepare you for the world. And don't get me wrong, I need to prepare Amy as well to some degree in various ways. And physically as well, I need to know that both my girls, and, you know, I go to the gym with Caitlin and we do a bit of sparring between all of us at times. I need the girls to know that they can look after themselves if ever it comes to it as well. Now, not so much as Alex needs to know, but they do it themselves for their own safety. But then I teach them as well. I mean, my girls are not going to be walking down no dark alleyway in the middle of the night on their own, because I'm not raising morons, yeah? But you never know, the chances are somewhere along the lines they could get attacked or anything like that. Pray to God that never happens, but I need to know that they can fuck some dickhead up if it ever came to it, or, you know, do enough to get away and ring me or whatever, and I'll be there in a shot. Or when I go, Alex will be there in a shot. Because that's the point, guys. Your son, you're training your replacement. That's what your son is. Your son is going to be your replacement. You may be the man of the family right now, but one day you ain't going to be here. So your son needs to be the man, and you're going to have to teach him how to be. And I know it's a daunting task. It is a daunting task. It's not easy. I don't think it's easy at all. Like, getting back to, you know, me and Alex boxing, sparring, I don't like hurting him. I hate hurting him. And every now and then I'll catch him with one that just hurts him that little bit. I don't enjoy that, but what's worse, do you know what I mean? I've got to toughen the boy up, and he's getting there. But then I've also got to teach him how to be a provider. I regularly talk to him. I've talked to him loads about stuff I talk about on here. I've told him all about dopamine and how dopamine works, and, you know, overindulging on things is not good, and all the kids are aware that, you know, they should minimise phone usage time. In fact, I've got a box in this room. When they come round, they get the phones and they put it straight in the box. They're not fucking interested when they're at mine. And I had a rule early on as well. No, because the mum got them one of them tablet things, what are they called? iPad. Yeah, iPads. And I said, they ain't coming to mine. Not a fucking chance. And yeah, they've stuck to that. And yeah, I was concerned when they got the phones. I thought they were a bit young for that, really. But then what can I do about that now? So all I can do is educate them, and they took on board what I said, and yeah, straight in the box. No, I don't even ask them to put it in the box, they just do it. Well, that's amazing. And it's better because then we're having conversation as well. And that's another thing with kids, especially nowadays with all this technology bullshit, is that people spend far too long on their fucking phones or watching the shit box or whatever, and they're not communicating. How many parents do you see where they're on their phone, and to shut the kid up, they stick them in front of the screen as well? The kids interacting with that screen more than they are with their parents. That's fucking families up, guys. So if you are one of them that's doing that, then give it a rest, right? Because another thing as well, your kids are watching you. Your son is watching you. Think about that. He's watching your every move. He wants to know what's right, what's wrong. And you can say it. And that's good. But it ain't about what you say. It's what you do. So that's more important than anything, is watching your actions. So be careful how you're acting in front of your children, that you're not adopting bad habits in front of them, and that you're mindful of how you react to things, and that you're a good man, and that you're showing that you've got good morals, and that you're polite to people and all them kind of things. Your son needs to see that from you. It's alright telling him's one thing, but showing him is another. Bear that one in mind. And another thing, guys, is making memories, right? And this is another one I've been thinking a lot of with my dad, and I can think of so many memories that just keep making me smile. That's why I say I'm okay. I am absolutely fine, because, yeah, I miss him. Of course I do. And I'm going to miss him. But the time we had, fucking hell. We've had some cracking times. We really have. As a kid and in recent years as well. I mean, I'd had a Christmas with him. Not last year, year before. It was just me and him, and we had a drink. And that's possibly the best Christmas I've ever had. It was just a real special moment we had where, like I said, there's been a lot of dramas throughout my life and his life, and we've not always been friends. We didn't always get on. But I like that we came full circle, and in that moment, that was a defining moment that Christmas, where we looked at each other. I think we really appreciate each other for what we are for each other. So, and I do think sometimes, it's very easy to be thinking, oh, my dad, this and not that, but, and how good was he to me, or how good was I to him? You got to think about that sometimes, like, being a good son to your dad. So I have a little side note there, but it's not all about what he can do for you. What can you do for him, especially as they get older? Roles reverse a little bit, and then also that's showing your son that if he sees you looking after your dad, taking care of him, and respecting him, he's more inclined to do all them things for you, especially when that time comes when you're going to need him. So bear that one in mind as well, chaps. Well, yeah, getting back to the memories part anyway, I mean, I've been flooded with them since, even down to, I'll tell you a little one. There was a brief spell where he used to pick us up from school, and he used to have these, he used to be obsessed with these golf ball chewing gums, right? They're like that big, and he'd get by a packet of 50. He'd stick them all in his gob, and he'd chew them up into a giant ball like as big as my fist. And I'm not kidding you. He used to do this every time, and my mates would wait for it and all they'd want to see, and he'd spit it out and kick it over the school every time. It was phenomenal. And just little things like that. There was a billion memories. I mean, I'm only sharing that one. And I remember one time we went to the forest, me and family once and all, and we were on top of this hill in the forest, Banana Hill, that's what it was called. My sister legged it down to the bottom, and then she hid behind a tree, and she must have been a good 50, 60, 70 yards away. And my dad said, "Dave, what's this?" and he went, booted it, and it hit her on the head. Got stuck in her hair. Bear in mind, she was like, what, 60, 70 yards away and behind a tree. Now, if there was an Olympic event for that, then I think my dad would have won it. So I'm conscious of that, you know, the whole, them little moments, because that's what life's about, guys. It really is cut all the bullshit out. What life is about is human connection, making memories and just them special moments. So do what you can, as often as you can, to have them special moments, because they're what matters. They're what you're going to be thinking about on your deathbed, and they're what your kids are going to be thinking about of you after. And you know, I like to think that me and the kids, I like to think I'm a fun dad, and we've had a lot of good times. We really have. So I do think they're going to think very highly of me when I do kick the bucket, and I'm glad that's made my life worthwhile and worth keep going for. No matter how shit things get, you know, the kids need a dad. So yeah, bear that in mind. And another thing, my dad was a big fan of my YouTube, and you know, a big supporter of it. He'd watch all my videos, and we'd talk about it, and you know, he'd laugh at me funny ones, and take the piss as well, which me and him were always taking the piss out of each other. It was part of our relationship, and that meant a lot to me. That did, because I was always trying to get his approval. I always wanted to try and make him proud, which spurred me on. Do you know what I mean? If you're trying to make somebody proud, you're gonna work hard. I mean, we should be making yourself proud as well. That's the main one. But if you got somebody else that's looking at you and watching how you get on, to make them proud as well, that's a big motivation. It really is. So if you can be that guy for your children where they want to make you proud, then you're winning, and they're going to be winning as well. So encourage them, do that. I mean that. It goes a long way. It really has for me, and it's definitely something, you know, I always tell my kids. One thing I always say to them is that I don't care what you do in life, as long as you are happy, healthy, and that you try your best. That's all I care about. Ideally, they're doing something, and I keep telling them this as well, something that they're passionate about. I mean, I love my job, and my dad taught me all I know, and I don't think I was put on this planet to do that. I think more this is suited for my purpose in life, my real purpose in life. But I do get a big job satisfaction from it, you know, making happy customers and all that. It's, you know, it gets me out of bed in the morning, and I feel like I'm making a difference. I'm doing a good job, and I've got a big body of work that I'm proud of. It keeps me going. You know, you spend half your life at work, so you've got to be enjoying it, and I tell them that as well. So, and I encourage them, find out what it is they want to do, and then I say, right, kick them straight up the backside, and go do it then. And I explain to them as well, and you should explain this to yours, that, oh, you can be anything you want to be in this world. Yeah, perhaps. But what people tend to forget to say as well is that, but not without sacrifice, not without busting your bollocks to do it. And, you know, hard work and discipline, all these things are so important, and you need to teach your kids them. And you need to teach your son accountability. You've got to teach him responsibility, and really get him to understand the importance of discipline. And then you're not going to go far wrong there, and they won't go far wrong either. So there we go. Now this video is racking up some serious time, guys, so I will cut it there. Sorry, it's another long one. So until next time, like the video, drop us a comment, all them nice things. Subscribe if you haven't already, please. Thank you kindly. And be the best you, and do it for you. Cheers.